back to the show. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell. In today's episode, I'll be talking about recentering yourself is a strength. So I do these YouTube lives every Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you find this video content of value later on, feel free to send a donation if you like. Please help support my kitten. Excuse me. All right, let me get back to the video. All right. Um, I was not prepared for her to fall asleep like this. Let's see how long she can sleep in the meantime. All right. So, anyways, let's talk about a recap episode. All right, recap episode. How to avoid having a competitive mindset. Okay, that's a slide. Um, it's on life is a collaborative process. You can't compete externally if you can't collaborate with yourself internally. Best way to overcome competitive mindset is to become less defensive. Now, being less defensive, what does that mean? It means that when you're I'm not saying that you cannot compete with yourself. What I am saying is it must come from a place of not of a non approval seeking behaviors, because most of the time when people go anywhere and they want to be competitive, and I think being competitive is great. It's great to push the boundaries, push the limits on how you could grow. But when it comes from a place of approval seeking, then it's like starting yourself in the wrong foot, right? She, she looks like a rabbit. Anyways, being defensive does not protect us from other people. It it defends us from fears we don't want to feel, right? So let me say that one more time. Being defensive does not protect us from other people. It defends us from fears we do not want to feel. And what's the point, right? You might say to yourself, what's the point of going for that job, aiming for that goal, or talking to that one person that I've always been interested in? Because most of the time, what you may or may not say to yourself is, I probably won't get the job. Or even if I hit the goal, I have to maintain it. So that's going to be a lot of work, right? It's kind of like, well, if I get the body of my dreams, or, I eat well, whatever, blah, 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 do I have to do it forever? Yeah, more if you want to keep it. I mean, like anything worthy takes time. And not only does it take time, it takes consistency, and it takes a lot of discipline so that you can maintain it, right? And she would, oh, and the other one is, oh, she would just leave me like the rest of the people, like they always have, having a fear of success. But by adapting a different mindset, instead of thinking they're all going to try to belittle you, seek an opportunity to grow. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares about themselves more than you. Most people worry about themselves more. And that's why a lot of people project certain things. A lot of people say certain things so that they could bring you down. And notice this too. A lot of people want you to succeed, but they don't want you to succeed more than them. And we'll look out for those type of people, right? See if anything changes as you are progressing. And I want to also tell you guys this, which is, when you're on this journey of becoming better, you're going to notice that you're going to be a lot more lonely. And you just got to be okay with the silence, because not a lot of people could resonate with that. More people, there's more mediocre people in the world, right? Like if you go to I'm not saying bars are bad, but I'm saying like majority of people that do go to bars, or they do to go to the club and all that, they want to have fun. You're gonna find a lot more people over there than people in their own house working on themselves at the gym, eating right, etc. Working on their finances, their business, and all that, right? So, don't be surprised if you get a little bit lonely. Okay, it's success is never crowded along the extra mile, but on the other side, it's always crowded because there's always all these other people that's not doing anything. That's not doing anything better for themselves. Okay. And then you want this growth mindset. I get, and then you might even say, like, oh, I get to protect myself from what? From your insecurities, right? By being defensive and blaming others so that you don't have to feel so unworthy. A lot of people project how they feel about themselves, how they truly feel about themselves, to how they feel about you. Because you ever said something to someone and they don't agree with you, they'll be like, oh, no, that's a horrible idea. I don't think you should do it. It's because they don't want to do it. So it's a projection of how they feel about themselves because they worry about themselves more than you. Okay. So, in other words, you're standing in front of your insecurities. So, if you are feeling insecure, well, how do you cure that? How do you find a solution to that? When you find a solution to insecurities, it's by facing your fears, by going for it and failing, failing. I can't even say the word. Fail forward, fail more, right? And then have a certain group of people that allows you to fail and be like, this is what we saw good from that failure, instead of having other people blame you for failing. See, told you that was a stupid idea. And what's the point? Why did you do that, right? But if you don't do it, the answer is always no, right? So you never know what could come out, what could come great of just trying, right? Like, I remember one time I was supposed to go. I almost said no because I was like, what's the chance of me actually going there, seeing Neil, shaking his hand, taking a photo, giving him like the album or whatever, right? That, I brought something, I gift for him. I was like, what's the point? What's the point of doing it? And I'm glad I flew to LA. And I went over there and I was like, hey, yo, Neil. And he was like, yeah, what's up? So he was like, yeah, come on in. And I was like, yeah, I got this for you. And he looked at me and I was like, damn, like, that's an experience that will last a lifetime. As opposed to, I could have made the decision of just staying at home, have a regular day, which is not bad neither, but you gotta fail forward. So let's just say if I did go and I didn't get to meet Neo, but I got to see him anyways, at least I tried. At least you tried. Most people stop trying, especially as they get older, because they've been told this lie, basically, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. Like, don't you think it's kind of late? Like, no, it's not. As long as you're here, it's not too late. At least try, right? Always got to keep growing, right, Melissa? So, anyways, you're standing in front of your insecurities. You're defending something that's constantly holding you back, which is your fears and your insecurities, right? But my defensiveness allows me to hide my fears for myself. Like, I get to hide behind that, so I don't really need to feel that, right? Last minute, I went to see Jay Park. Last minute, I really wanted to stay home. Exactly. So, matter of fact, yours was the first one it came into mind because it was so recent, right? Did she wake up? It was so recent, and imagine you went and he didn't show up, or he showed up and he didn't sign it, but at least you went there, you tried. Okay, then she's gonna go sleep. Okay, good girl. Okay, now I can turn it back up. All right. so I don't have to face the fears. It's easy. How convenient is that? Right? Like, let's just say this. Like, let's just say I'm with a bunch of my boys and I'm single and I go out there and, everyone's like, damn, look at her. She's so hot. Oh my God. Everybody knows that, right? But then you go up, you shoot your shot, and you got shot down. All your homies laughing at you, but in reality, they didn't have the balls to go up, and you did. It was absolutely how I felt that night. I took a shower. I was like, I ain't going. And then I said, I may well good time. May as well have a good time. Yeah. So, like, I made the decision today when I woke up. I was like, I'm going to the gym. Okay? I'm going to the gym because I haven't really worked out in a minute. I've done exercises, but I haven't like worked out for myself. You know what I mean? I felt like, and on top of that, things just started going down, right? I had allergies. I had all these excuses. My body wasn't feeling. I'm like, all right, Mitchell, stop being a bitch. So I'm going. Okay. So, anyways, I want to talk about the same thing I've been constantly talking about. This is why we have humans, we have two greatest fears. Fear that we're not good enough, and fear that like we're inadequate, we're not good enough, and fear that we're not going to be liked or loved. So, but how do you come from a place and be accepted? By being accepted is by being who you are, by doing things that are most attractive. What are very attractive traits? People who are fit are attractive. Why? Because they discipline themselves, they take care of their body, and not only that, they take care of other people. So it's not just that they take care of themselves, they take care of other people around them. They're not selfish, they listen. So you ever notice it's a lot about giving, but giving to yourself, allowing yourself to be in the best shape of your life, and on top of that, allowing other people to participate with you. That's how this community grows. That's why most loyal people will stay. But if you surround yourself with people you don't like just because you feel like it's better than staying at home, staring at your four walls, and it's not a place where they accept you, are you really there? That's my question, right? Anyways, recentering yourself is a strength. Okay, so I want to talk about the first slide where most men, sometimes some females too as well, right? But mostly men, it's an approval seeking mindset. And that's something that you want to avoid, right? So an example is he might say to himself, or she might say to himself, what do I need to do to get him back? Or what I need to do to get her back? That's pretty much the wrong mindset. It's a wrong mindset, especially for a guy, right? Because I've always said women does the choosing. Women are like cats. Cats sometimes they want to play, they want to nap on you, right? They're very loving. Next minute, she's like scratching, running away. She don't want to be anywhere around me, and I have to be okay with that. That's called emotional resilience, right? Emotionally regulated. That I will be okay whether or not she sleeps on my lap or not. I like it when she sleeps on my lap. It tells me that she cares, she likes me and stuff like that, right? Same thing like a lady. But if she doesn't, it's okay, because I know at the end of the day, eventually she'll be back. And if she doesn't want to come back, guess what? It's okay too, because I'm not going to be spiteful. I'm not going to be angry. And that's how you get these other group of men, the red pill community specifically, where they're angry. They talk about, oh, woman does this, woman controls sex. 20% of men get 80% of women. It's like, okay, yeah, it's very true. And right, but I'm gonna put that on pause. I'm gonna continue this slide first, and then I'll talk about that as we go down the list. All right, so what I need to do to get her back, which is the approval seeking mindset. But instead, guys, what they should be really focusing on is, instead of doing that, they should have fun, hang out, have fun, and maybe y'all hook up, and maybe you don't. But all you have to do is just go slightly slower than her. So if she doesn't want to have sex with you, don't force it on her. Take a step back. Don't be upset. A lot of guys get upset and be like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just gonna leave. And then you go and tell your boys and be like, yeah, we almost had sex, but then like, oh, she didn't want it, and then I got bored, and so I left. It sounds good on paper, but in reality, no. You were no different than a little kid playing in a sandbox, and that girl that you like didn't want to share her toy with you, and then you're like, fuck this. So you kicked the sand and you left. You were just pissed off and angry because you didn't get laid that night. All you have to do is just go slightly slower and not talk her out of it. That's it. Unless you're Jay Park or Justin Bieber, you know, it's thrown at you already, right? Anyways, moving on. So focus on having a good time, not trying to lock her down or try to get into a relationship. Too many guys try to do that. Like, stop trying to force her into a relationship before she's ready. It is her choice. All you have to do is show up, have fun, hang out, have fun, and hook up. That's it. Her choice. But when a woman tells you she needs space, well, guess what? You have to give her space. You have to give her space. All right. But when you do that, you don't have to be upset about it. You don't have to be spiteful. You don't have to, come sound from a place of like disappointment. What you can do is just, be playful and fun, right? Okay, babe, just give me a call when you miss me so much and you can't stand living without me, okay? You can't stand not hearing my voice, all right? Right? Say something like that, somewhere along the lines, keep it playful and fun. And be like, yeah, I'll catch you later, right? So the whole idea is to play cool, be playful, be cool about it, have a take it or leave it kind of mentality. Like I'm cool either way without it. Like a charming James Bond, right? He never gets stifled. So more on approval seeking mindset. The difference is getting upset when when she wants space versus giving her space, right? When you get upset when she wants space, you will chase her away, and then your actions will reinforce the results. Your action will reinforce your results. Your action, which is when she gets upset, you're like, chase, chase, chase. Let me chase her. Let me chase her. Let me get her back. The illusion of action. Like, I feel like I need to do something to get her back. And then you end up with the result, which is not like Hollywood movies. I'm dating myself. Like the Hollywood movies where you chase a girl and she be like, oh my God, I didn't know my love of my life was always in front of me. Like, that's bullshit. It does not happen. You get a restraining order, right? What you're going to get is you're going to chase her away to another person eventually. Maybe she doesn't have anyone lined up. But if she does, she's going to go to the next person and be like, yeah, I'm tired of this, right? And, don't do that, okay? And then you fall into this is this rabbit hole? What am I doing? You say to yourself, "What? See, this always happens. This always happens." Like, what's the point of getting into a relationship or trying to find a good relationship? Well, it's because you're doing more things that is more unattractive to her, and you're pushing her away because of your insecurities, because you can't let her come and go as she pleases. That's on you. You got to do more things that displays more attraction, that displays more emotional resilience, so that she could feel your strength. Woman needs to feel you in order, like, because a woman doesn't care how good of a guy you are. She only cares how she feels about you. So if she feels something towards you, she's going to like you, okay? Versus, this is the better mindset. She takes the space, hears the silence, doesn't hear from you for a few days, or a week, or maybe even 2 weeks, whatever. I'm not saying y'all together yet, right? Then she will start to wonder and think about you, what you're up to. And when she reaches out, guess what? Be receptive. Be like, hey, how's it going? Love to see you. Why don't you come over to my place, right? Because at that point, it is her choice. And then it's her choice. You're being receptive. Love to see you. Make a date. Set a definite date. This is a masculine mindset. This is where masculine men dominates. And I'm not talking about like physical masculinity, right? I'm talking about this is mental. This is emotional. Mental, emotional, and spiritual. Hold up. Allergies are kicking in. Hold on, let me take a tiny sip. Give me 1 second. All right. Y'all still with me? Mental gymnastics. I'm so glad I'm not a guy. Yeah. Like, because, man, like, how easy is it for a guy to try to come up and talk to you? Or maybe, think of how many times a guy has looked at you in that way. You know what I mean? As opposed to if you were a guy. Yeah, from the Claritin for that. I already took a pill already, so. You doing college work too? Okay. But look, how I see it is, look, because I am a guy, I'm not gonna sit here and bitch and complain why women don't look at me. All I have to do is work on myself to become my most attractive self, which I'm gonna get into. All right. So, okay. So, versus taking the space, because love is allowing her the space, allowing her the space. Okay. The mindset is a masculine man where he's indifferent but not spiteful. You're not acting out of a place from hurt, pain, and disappointment, where most men seem to find themselves unintentionally placed. They place themselves there unintentionally. They don't know it, but they did. Excuse me. And then there was one quote that I really, really liked. And I was searching some things up and I saw Neil. And he said, he was talking about Chris Brown's album. I think the title of this short video was Neil on Chris Brown, right? And Neil said, and the world loves a train wreck. People slow down for chaos before they slow down for quality. That blew my mind. I was like, how, Neil, how do you keep saying these things so naturally, all right? I feel like I have to rehearse what he has to say organically. You know what I mean? So, but when he said that, I was like, wow, that's like, if Neil had a podcast, I will listen to him all fucking day. Neil, if you hear this, please have a podcast, all right? I know you love making music. You're a great songwriter. Have a podcast. But he said it. He was like, the world loves a train wreck. People will slow down for chaos before they slow down for quality. Because he was talking about Chris Brown's album. And he was like, that was a good album. He was like, I listened to the album. That was a great album. But if the next day he woke up and slapped another person, like, it'll be all over the news. Think about it. Think about the quality, right? You put in all the work, right? So I thought that was interesting. Let that sink in your mind, right? All right. Now, when you operate from a place of strength, guys, when you operate from a place of strength, women can feel that, but it must be genuine, right? So the idea is you're not recentering yourself to get her back. You're recentering yourself to be your most attractive self again. So you're doing it for yourself and not because of another person. And something beautiful happens when you do that. One, you're no longer always trying to play catch up with her because you're no longer leading if you're always following behind, right? So then you take a step back, you start working on yourself, improving yourself. Well, guess what? Other women will start to notice it. Maybe it's not her, maybe it is her. And it's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men that have more options, right? Because it's like, okay, who's this guy? Who is this guy? Why is there's something about him. And on top of that, he's pre-selected by other women as well. Like, he goes for what he wants. He does what he wants. He's not an asshole, and he's nice to other people. I want that. How can that be me? And when it's her idea, when she's mentally invested, well, guess what? It is her idea. She will come to you, and all you have to do is leave the door open. No. Yeah, it is. It's a scientific fact. You might disagree, okay? But if I be like, you know what, go date Benadryl guy. He's always angry. No, there's not a single girl likes him. You'd be like, all right, is there something wrong with this selection of guy right here? There's something wrong. There's something wrong, right? Now you choose that guy, all right? Versus I don't know. I always use Jay Park for example, right? Do you want Jay Park or a guy that's always angry at women, complaining, cussing out? I hate women. This is look up Benadryl guy on YouTube. He's so passionately angry at women. He's no longer with us. All right, I think he passed away, but it was funny as hell. All right, look up Benadryl guy. Don't do it now. Stay on this live. Watch this, and if you're watching this live on a rerun, stay here. Keep it on your notepad, right? I always suggest people, if you're gonna be watching this, at least write some stuff down, right? Let's keep it fun, right? Let's keep learning fun, right? Infotainment. Let's go, Mitchell. Let's go. All right. So anyways, you're recentering yourself. not to get her back. You're recentering yourself to be your most attractive self, right? I can't leave it open. All right. But if you start from a place of self-love and what it takes to be most attractive, women can tell. Ladies, y'all know if a guy's doing it out of a tactic versus the mindset of love to hear from you, but it's okay if you don't. An example is no contact rule. A lot of guys like to use, oh, she don't want to talk to you? Use no contact. Use no contact on her. But a lot of guys use it incorrectly. They use it as a tactic. Like, she's waking up. Give me a second. Okay. They're using it as a tactic to try to get her attention. And you might be successful. And guess what? You're not going to be able to sustain it. So it's attainable success, but not sustainable, right? Moving on. Weak men blame others. Don Shula said, the superior man blames himself. The inferior man blames other people. In today's world, I want to talk about the red pill community. There's one thing I want to talk about, which is the red pill community. They have some good advice, some. But the intentions behind it sounds like a bunch of men that are just angry, upset, spiteful. They're just, I wouldn't say jealous, or maybe they were jealous at one point. I don't know. But like, they just sound like men that were frustrated, pain, and then they're now taking it out on women, and they want to see them hurt, right? Their misfortune, right? And there's a word for that. So, but let me get down into this list. But this certain group, the red pill community. What's red? Look it up. Look it up. Like, they have good advice, right? One thing I agree with is if you're a guy in a red pill community, guess what? Guess what you should do? You should work on yourself. You should work out. You should build yourself up. Have a business, or, work on improving yourself. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. And be so successful that other people can't get the eyes off of you. Absolutely. But if you're doing it with the intention of making them feel bad about you, then it's not really, like, it tells me a lot about your values. It tells me a lot about your morals as a person. And that's, you know what? Maybe you have a lot of money and maybe you are successful, but maybe you're not the right person for me, right? At least to like be hanging out all the time. Be prepared when you do. Yeah, be prepared. Yeah. So like an example is like they might say something like, oh, this is woman's true nature. All women are like this. And I know if any red pill guys are listening to this, they're going to be like, oh, shut the F up, Mr. White Knight, shining armor. Right? They said a lot of things about me, but it tells me that they don't know shit about women, right? They talk about this is woman's true nature. All women are like this. And they're, to some degree, it's true, right? Like when I say like, you have to let women come and go as they please because they're the one that chooses you. Men do the pursuing, woman does the choosing. That's it. That's a fact. It's the true nature. Right, that's what they say. And then they get upset where like 20% of men get 80% of women on dating apps, even if they're average looking women, right? Like, can an average looking guy get 80% of women? No. And I was like, well, that's what happens when you have a fucking filter, okay? That's what happens when you have a fucking filter and you filter height and you filter certain things, right? Height, ethnicity, race, whatever. Like, of course, wouldn't you want to choose the best? Who wants to settle, right? Let's go back to was it Melissa when she disagreed with me? Why don't you go to the dating app and just settle for the first guy you see? You wouldn't do that, right? So obviously, who wouldn't want the best for themselves, right? But now, oh, and also they'd be like, oh, women control sex. Yeah, to some degree they kind of do, but also like, I wouldn't want to be with a woman that uses sex as a tool to like punishment. It's like, nah, then forget that. I'm gonna go somewhere else. I don't need to spend my time there, right? I don't do dating apps. Well, that's good. Not that dating apps are bad. It's just it has a stigma to it, I guess. Now, let's talk about the flip side of the coin. Now, on the flip side of the coin, women do like strong men. They like leaders. They like someone that could provide and they could protect, but both mentally, physically, financially, right? Spiritually. They need to know that when she comes back home, that the guy, or when he comes back home, that he's not just gonna be like acting out all erratic and just start yelling and screaming because he had a bad day at work. And also, women, it's like, just because you had a bad day, don't express it on him. Like, don't take it out on him, but you can express it. Like, maybe he had a bad day and he comes back home and he's emotionally regulated, and you know you had a good guy and you have a good guy in front of you. Well, guess what? Talk to him first. Have it more about him than it's all about you, but be willing to share it. Now, if it only goes one way and he doesn't ever ask you how your day was or how you doing or what you've been up to, or like maybe he sensed that something's on your mind and you haven't been yourself lately, and he asks you, don't take it out on him, because he just wants to find out. He just wants to know whether you're okay or not. So then you guys could get back to recentering yourself. And that's why recentering yourself is such a powerful tool. It's a strength. And you should always get back to that place of being in your center, because that's where you operate your best. Okay. So women do like strong men, someone provide, protect. And a lot of men out there, there's a lot of men out there that needs to man up. There's a lot of men out there that needs that man to be be the man that the woman wants them to be. But now you just get all these other red pills. They're like, oh, this is woman true nature. Oh, he has to make 100K. Do you know how many, like, and I've been looking for this word for a very long time, and I haven't found it until yesterday. It was funny. And I was like, and it was from like a YouTube channel that was like pretty small, like 10, not small, but like 10,000, 15, 16,000. I was like, this guy's advice deserves way more. He deserves way more views. This had like 600 views in it, but what the advice that he gave was very good. Anyways, he talked about, there's this one quote that he liked that with the red pill community that changed his mind. He was like, because he went into this rabbit hole of this whole red pill community on how like these bunch of men they get angry and upset because they've been hurt by a woman in their past, and now they have this little secret society, right, where they have the best kept secrets, and it feels good to be a part of a secret group, right? Secret, where you share all the insights on all these type of cheat codes. And he was like, because you've been hurt and you don't want to be hurt anymore, but fear and hurt imprisons the heart, right? So if you're fearful and you're hurt and you don't face those two things, you're gonna take a step back and be like, you know what, I don't want to get hurt anymore. But in reality, you didn't do any proper vetting. You didn't talk to that person. You didn't understand what that person's character, because character is destiny. You don't know what their values are. You don't know what their goals are, right? It's always better to be around someone with similar goals and similar values, because then you could align yourself, right? If you both eat good and then sometimes you have a cheat meal, it's fine, right? I think that's okay. But now let's just say you work out all the time and you take care of your body, and now all of a sudden you see someone and you're lonely, but you take care of yourself. But then you settle with this other person that doesn't really care about themselves, that doesn't want to work on themselves, improve their physical health, mental health, emotional, right? You're gonna run into problems eventually. And then don't be upset when someone says, look, told you so. Don't be upset. Okay? But now this word that I was looking for was and it's a German word. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I think it's pronounced Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. But anyways, it means that pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortune. So basically, I get excited. I get pleasure from seeing you having some sort of misfortune, right? Which is what a lot of the red pill community is, which is they like to see women fail. Be like, oh, you will never get this guy. Oh, you won't get this. Or maybe she's super hot, nice body, everything. And then it's like, because I can't get her, I'm so glad that she just got effed over, right? And I think the English word for that is epicaricacy. So let me spell that out for you. Epicaricacy. So epicaricacy. Schadenfreude, German word, pleasure derived from someone, from another person's misfortune. Made pact with myself to not do any till next year. That's good. Work on yourself in the meantime. And I think everybody should continue to do that, right? Like, work out, learn how to work out. I think that's a great thing for everybody because our body's meant to move. It's not meant to stay stagnant, right? Right now, I'm itching to move. She's still been sleeping, but it's okay. It's okay. For now. But anyways, in reality, most people, especially the red pill community, look, you guys just did a shitty job at vetting your dating prospects. And now you're blaming other people, because blaming other people is much easier. And now that's why it makes so much noise, right? Like what Neil said, people slow down for chaos. But before they was even slow down for quality, right? Right? So now this is where Jim Rohn kicks in. Jim Rohn's quote was, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better." And the world is full of people willing to live life in quiet desperation with least resistance. And more people will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So here's the truth. The truth is, most people won't take this advice. Or maybe you might be listening to this right now and you get this, what I call a seminar high, where you be like, damn, Mitchell, you're right. This feels fucking great. But most people won't take this advice, or they won't take it as serious. And if you are one of the very few people that are going to take this serious, I congratulate you, because most people won't do it. Have a great day. Take care. All right, Adriana, thank you for being here. So most people won't take this advice of recentering yourself, because recentering yourself, sometimes it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of like being in that moment, being upset, and then be like, take a step back, just take a step back. Right. I know what worked for me was in the beginning. Anytime I got upset, I pinched myself, because I know it sounds weird, but when I pinch myself, it allowed me to take a step back and be like, why am I mad? So I'm mad because this person cussed at me, or maybe this person cut me, right? But in the beginning, like an example was someone cut in front of me. I'm not talking about driving, right? That person was like, oh, I didn't know that this was a line. So I was like, hey, excuse me, like I was standing in line. I'm behind this person, and most of the time they're like, oh, my bad, I didn't know. And then now, just like that, you could have had a good friend. You may have met someone, and then it's like, oh, like what are you here for? What are you getting? What bubble tea you like, right? So take a step back before being angry. So a little thing I like to do was just give yourself a little pinch to remind yourself that it's okay to still be upset, because you're human, but it's how you act in response, right? In a reaction versus a response. A response takes time to recenter yourself and be like, okay, why am I mad? But a reaction is like, yo, I'm just gonna do this, right? So recentering yourself takes time. Then it takes awareness, right? It takes awareness. Most people don't want to be aware of that. And then on top of that, I have to participate. That's a lot of work, right? It takes awareness. It takes participation. And then going through this hurdle of failures before you get one success. That's a lot of work, right? You might get one success. And if you're lucky, you might get success. You might be successful the first time you try to do something, right? Maybe you didn't know that you had talent in dancing, and then you were naturally gifted in dancing. You're like, hey, it's actually kind of easy. And then like maybe the person next to you is like, this is difficult. I don't understand it. I have 2 left feet. But as you both progress, just because you have talent, it doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Just because you have talent, it means that you might have it a little bit easier. You might be successful the first time. But what ends up happening is eventually you're gonna run to the obstacles. And then what? Do you stop there or do you keep going, right? So you will run into things. And so that's why I love the quote, success is never crowded along the extra mile. It's never crowded because most people aren't willing to push themselves there to get to that place. And why regaining your center is so necessary. So imagine being pissed off and upset, whether it's at home or at work. How are you going to treat other people? How are you going to treat yourself? But when you recenter yourself, it puts you in a much better mood. You're more calm. You're a better person. You're more mentally, physically, and emotionally. You're less flustered. You're better mentally, physically, and emotionally. You think faster. You think faster on your feet. That's what they call improving mental agility because you're in a great mood. You ever notice? You ever been at a party or maybe, or an easier example is liquid courage, right? You ever notice when you're drunk, you're more friendly, unless you're not a friendly drunk, but you're usually more friendly. You're more like outgoing. You could talk to anybody. You're okay with it. You're like, oh my God, I love your shirt. Whereas most of the time you wouldn't even dare say anything to anybody, right? But we can't depend on that. So regaining yourself, being in a better place for yourself, being more confident, and then on top of that, improving your mental agility, right? Improves mental agility. You're more welcoming, You become better company to yourself and other people. You're more likely to get less stifled. You're more patient. Yes, Melissa, you're more patient. You will start to attract better people if you do it consistently. See, the problem is in today's world, we want something so fast, right? TikTok, we scroll through it super fast. Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, whatever you call it, right? Vine was 6 seconds. I think that's too long now. I think we're at like 3 seconds now. And like we have less attention span than a fish, which is crazy. I didn't think we could get there. Anyways, yeah, you have to do it consistently, like going to the gym, constantly eating better, right? You will start to see results. Now, the only problem is we don't trust that process. We don't trust ourselves. You don't trust yourself because you've never done it long enough. And if you've done it long enough and you've been failing, well, guess what? Maybe you're just one of those people that tried and you fucked up. And that's okay. Because why? Here I am, Mitchell Tang, telling you that at least you tried. You might not always get the success that you want when you try things, but at least you tried. Whereas most people don't. Most people don't even try. You at least did. Okay? I seen this girl in a bar drunk and talked to me so friendly, right? But was she as friendly when she wasn't drunk, right? What's up, Wan Soju? Now, more importantly, you need to do this from a genuine place. Do this from a genuine place, right? Like, look, don't get me wrong. I love to get back into shape. I love to not have allergies, so that I could operate from my best place, my best self. But I know I'm going to be set back a little bit. I don't know how allergies work. Apparently, I know someone that took 3 to 6 months for him to improve his allergies around cats. So I was like, Mitchell, you just got to deal with it for 3 to 6 months. But what happens if it's not 3 to 6 months? Well, I still got to be okay with it, right? It's finding a solution. So I'm not mad at her because I can't work out or I can't operate my best, but I just have to find a way, find a way in, not a way out. Okay? Because I can't stand the fact of not having you, Miss Evie, with your little paws. Little paws. Can you see it? Little paws. So more importantly, you need to do it consistently. You need to do it genuinely for yourself and not for other people, not because of a approval-seeking mindset. Now, it allows people in your life circumstances to easily and effortlessly manifest into your life, okay? That's the great thing about it. You must become what you want to attract. Now, people say like, oh, if I want to do this, then I have to do this to attract that person, right? I need to attract that person. It's like, no, it's not specifically that person. Okay. You must become your most attractive self so that you could start attracting other people into your life. That's what it is. Now, don't do it from a place of approval seeking mindset. If you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a six pack. I'm gonna look extra chiseled. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna look my very physical best so that I will make her feel like she regrets losing me. Like, she might be like, damn, he got fit. But if your attitude's still like nasty and ugly, she don't give a shit about that. But if you're like, you know what, hey, relationship didn't work out, I still want what's best for you, but in the meantime, I'm going to work on myself. I had a great time with you. I learned a lot. A breakup doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could just be, it's a gift. I see people as gifts. When people come into my life and they no longer is in my life anymore, they're still gifts. And people that stay, they are still gifts to me because they always teach me something. And if you see life as things happening for you and not to you, you're going to operate from a much better place. Now, when I'm telling you this and you're letting it sink in, and you're like, that's kind of true. That makes a lot of sense. And it's because right now you're at a place, you're probably watching this hopefully in an environment where you're safe, you're comfortable, you're allowing yourself to digest the information. You're like, damn, it does sound like it kind of resonates with me. And if it does, it's a great place because right now you're feeling centered. But now imagine you're like, it's chaotic, it's crazy, right? You're pissed off, you're angry, your finances isn't where it wants to be, you didn't get enough sleep, you're hungry, you don't have enough money to like buy the meal that you want to go out, but you can't find your sock. Like you're getting pissed off, right? You're just pissed. It's not going to be easy to be around you, right? So recentering yourself is a strength, and that's very attractive, okay? You must become what you want to attract. Increases compassion and empathy for other people too. You're more likable as a person. And who doesn't want to be liked, right? Sorry you're late. It's okay, Bree. Thank you for being here. I see you. Now, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? Now, the purpose of these videos that I do for you guys, right? Let's talk about this. The purpose of these videos is not to project your feelings onto another person or your emotions onto another person. The purpose of this video is for you to start looking out for yourself. You can't change another person. So these videos that I'm telling you guys, like, you're not there to try to maybe encourage the other person to change. Like, if they're stuck with the ideas, they're not going to change. That's it. They're done. They're not open to it. All you have to do is let them go. That's it. But what you can do is maybe you could gently nudge, gently lead a little bit and be like, hey, I'm learning this. This helped me out. Maybe you should try it out. Maybe. And if they're unwilling, it's okay. You know what? At least I had the resources. I did let this person know, and they don't want to take it. So they say when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. And the teacher is, well, you did provide that. And until they need it, then they know where to go, right? So the purpose of this video is so that you could start looking out for yourself, vetting your dating prospects, vetting your personal life, your business, right? Your career, whatever it is to help regulate yourself. You're not there to change another person. You can't change another person, right? So it's to not lose yourself, but to help spot out the ones that are not easygoing and easy to get along with in your life. Like, because I personally want a life that's easygoing, easy to get along with, right? Your life should be, not always, but this is what I want. Your life should be a drama-free zone. And if you're constantly in this type of environment, you should either get out while you're still ahead, if you can, okay? And if you enjoy being in that type of environment, like chaotic, always nosy, like you always have to do something kind of sneaky to get through with life, things like that, in that type of nature, and you're not exactly happy with your life and where you are and where you want to be, take a deeper look into why you're there. Because I'm gonna tell you, some, which is when I was growing up, I loved being around gossip. I love hearing people talk shit about other people because it made me feel good about myself. I was no different than what was that show? Jerry Springer. As if I watch Jerry Springer, I'm like, damn, my life is fucking amazing because at least my life isn't like theirs. Oh my god, like they got 3 kids, one of them's not theirs, etc. Right? It makes me feel good about myself, but it doesn't do anything because it's just a feeling. I didn't actually do anything. I didn't do anything to improve myself. I just had to see other people's misfortune, right? Which is, how do you pronounce that word? Schadenfreude? Schadenfreude or epicaricacy? So, right? I enjoy seeing, I have pleasure seeing other people's like misfortune, right? So the purpose of this is not to lose yourself, okay? It means that you have to take action to improve your life, right? So drama-free zone, get out while you're still ahead. And if you're not exactly happy where you are, take a deeper look into why you're there. The videos here will help you attract like-minded people, but it won't change another person's character issues. It won't change it, okay? I'm gonna repeat that one more time. The videos here that I'm been doing for the past few years are to help you attract like-minded people, but it won't change another person's character. Character is destiny. They are who they are, and you're not going to change them. Most people don't change, so focus on one thing that you can change, which is yourself. Don't be upset that it's raining. You can't change the weather, but after the rain, there's usually sun. If there's not sun, it's a little bit cloudy, okay? But it's gonna be less rain, right? Some are longer, some are shorter. Winters, some are longer, some are shorter. But eventually the sun will shine. So just know that things will be okay as long as you work towards it, okay? And I'll give you an example later. But you're going to be able to recenter yourself and think about it. Imagine things that normally gets under your skin really quick, but you're able to handle it better emotionally and physically, right? So then you don't act out all erratically. I like to see a couple argue like, damn, I'm single. Yeah, be careful with that, all right? It's like, damn, I'm not part of that. But it doesn't do you any good. It makes you feel good, right? It's like, damn, they're arguing, right? But normally when things really get under my skin really quick, I used to do this. Now I'm like, I'll take a step back. And now I don't need to do this. I don't really need to rely on this little pinch, right? But now I handle it a little bit better. I'm more like, okay. I might take more time to respond. Like, let's just say you're yelling at me and I'm like in customer service, right? You're yelling at me. You're like, F you, Mitchell, you didn't get me what I want. I'm like, this is what I like to do. I like to ask them a question. So say, for example, I'm at Starbucks, I'm working. This is Mitchell 2023, not Mitchell 2012, right? If someone yelled at me, I would yell back at them. At least now I'm a little bit more emotionally regulated. So if they yell at me, this is not what I want, blah, blah, blah. I like to ask questions because if you know, whoever's asking the questions they're the one that's in control of the conversation, right? But it gives the illusion that they have the power, especially when they're angry, right? So you yell at me, I ordered a effing latte. This is a freaking cappuccino, right? I'm like, okay. I'm sorry, let me remake that for you or whatever, right? Take a step back. It's okay, right? Customer service, right? And then you remake it again. It's still the same. And it's like, okay, is there anything that I could get for you that would not get you this angry? Like, are you in a rush? I could give you a voucher. Maybe you could take this drink. Just take this. It's on us. I give you a refund and here's a voucher. Will that help? And then they might feel like, okay, I might get something out of it, right? Or maybe someone's yelling at you when they're upset. Like, oh, What is it that I'm doing that is making you upset? Why are you doing this? And is it so every time I do this, is this what makes you angry? So I'm still asking questions, right? And they're like, yeah, see, you always do this. So just be able to articulate words, being able to ask certain questions, quality questions, instead of like firing back. That will help you control your conversation. Because now, if you act out and you start yelling and screaming, you're like, F you this and F you that, right? I like using those words too, but like not in arguments, right? Fuck you mean. If you learn to use those words and articulate it in like a certain type of conversation, then you're able to manage the conversation, right? To control that conversation into where you want to guide it. Now, if they're just angry and upset, there's nothing you can do, right? Then if they get physical, then you got to do something else, right? Stop using words at this point. You got to protect yourself, right? Right, Kitty? Yep. Uh, so let's see. So imagine like things that usually get under my skin, but now you're able to handle it better. That's consistency, right? That's the consistency, and you're more emotionally regulated. It's easier to be around you. 4 more minutes. So, or maybe you're at a place right now where you're not really as angry, or you don't get upset as much, but maybe you're upset at yourself for one reason, and the reason is maybe, well, I always say yes to people, and when I say yes to people and I don't have the time for myself, I don't know how to set boundaries. So you're frustrated at yourself because you don't know how to set boundaries. So now all you have to do is just be like, I'm actually a little bit busy. I can't help you with that, but I'll be more than happy to help you in this, right? I think there was something called like 5-minute favors. 5-minute favors. If you could help someone in like 5 minutes, that's fine. But if it's gonna take your whole entire day, maybe reconsider it. Maybe, right? Unless you're really like, no, I really want to help this person because this person's always been there to help me, and I want to make sure that this person's taken care of, right? So this helps you not let others overstep all over you or step all over you, and then you start attracting the right person in your life so that you always get the life that you wanted. But now here's the key thing: you must do the work and you must take the actions. And this is a mindset, okay? Everything that I've always been talking about, this is a mindset change, not a tactic, okay? Damn, you're getting... Yeah, she slept for an entire hour. Holy shoot. All right, so let me do a recap, okay? Recap. Number 1, approval-seeking mindset. When you do things, you're not doing it for the other person. You're doing it for yourself. And really understand why you're doing it. Take a step back. It's okay. Things happen. It happens for you, not to you. So it's okay. Okay? Weak men blame others. So, and not just men, but women too, right? Like, fear and hurt imprisons the heart. So really be careful. Really be careful about blaming other people, right? Kaz, right? Cynthia, you say you like seeing other people argue because you're like, hey, be careful, just like some slight caution. Maybe not yellow light, orange light. If there's an orange light, I'll put that as an orange, okay? Getting closer to red. Be careful, right? Epicaricacy, which is, you find joy or pleasure in other people's misfortunes. Schadenfreude is the German word for it. Okay, so weak men blame other people, right? And what was my last one? What's the purpose? Wait, no, 2 more. Why regaining your center is so necessary. It puts you in a better mood. You're more emotionally regulated. You're less flustered. Improves mental agility. You're less stifled. More people want to be around someone that's more enjoyable. That's basically the summary of that slide. So, but it's only if you can get back to that center, right? Sometimes you wake up, you didn't get enough sleep, you're hungry, you have hella shit to do, you're late, and you're tired. Jeez, holy crap. Life feels like it's not worth. It's like, I'm just gonna call out, and then next thing you know, you hop in your car or you're on a train, and then someone's like in front of you, they're not hurrying up. Like, they took 3 seconds longer. It's like, You're mad because you're late. That's the reason why you're mad. But if you woke up extra early and you had hella cushion room, you had like 30 minutes to spare, well, guess what? You're not going to be stifled. You're not going to be angry. Okay? So, the purpose of these videos is not to change other people, right? Purpose of this video, you can't change another person's character. You can't change another person's character issues. Purpose of the videos is to attract like-minded people. Okay? That's it. So that you could attract other people when you're willing to work on yourself. My left leg is dead. Oh, I can't move. What's up, kitty? Hold on, give me 1 sec. Give me 1 second. My neck hurts. Oh, did you have a good time? Kitty, you have a good time? You slept through the entire life. This leg is non-existent. You don't care. See? Women are like cats. They don't care about how your left leg feels. She was like, I got sleep. I want to go eat right now. She's like, I don't give a about your leg. Watch. If I pick her up right now, she might not like it. Well, maybe she might. She probably won't care. She's all cuddly. Oh, she won't. Say hi. Say hi. All right, and that is the show today. Thank you all for coming in to watch. Been doing this for the past few weeks, despite how tired and whatever. Made a commitment, and I enjoy it. So thank you very much for participating. I hope you guys learned something. And I encourage you guys to write things down. Like, don't just be here and listening to me, but write things down. Like anything that resonates with you. If you want me to repeat something, say that again so that I could do it. Or you could always go back to the video, referring to it. But anyways, if you guys find this video content of value, you guys could show your appreciation. Of only 25 cents a day, you can support this lovely kitten. All right, say bye, Evie. Bye. Hit like, subscribe, share it to your friends, whoever that needs it. I know you're tired. I know you're tired, baby. She's like, why am I here? All right. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Start strong, She's saying hi to us now. Oh, she's licking. Oh, there she is. Ow. All right. She's so tired. Yeah. Okay. 7 days a week. Peace out.